go ahead and get started. Welcome to Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Jacquelynne, and I'm a certified Warriors at Ease teacher. And today will be a 30-minute all levels yoga class. It'll be gentle, generally full body stretch, and then a few minutes for final relaxation at the end. So if you'd like to join me in a comfortable seated position, I'm sitting on a pillow. You can grab a blanket, a block, a bolster, towel, or even sit on a chair if you like. I'm going to start by grounding through our sits bones, maybe rocking from side to side to kind of settle in. Engaging the core. We want to keep this slight engagement throughout our practice today to protect our lower back. Maybe do a quick shoulder roll, bringing the shoulders up and down the back. Trying to keep the chest open throughout this practice also. And keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears. Maybe pushing the chin back a little bit to line up the ears with the shoulders. And giving some space in the back of the neck. And lifting the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Maybe softening the gaze or closing the eyes here. And taking a few breaths just to check in. Maybe going through a quick mental body scan all the way from the toes to the crown of the head. And notice if you're holding tension anywhere. Maybe taking a few breaths and trying to release that tension. Or maybe we'll hopefully do some stretching it out if the breathing by itself isn't helping right now. Feeling the inhales, noticing the rib cage expanding in all directions, not just the front, but the sides and the back ribs, all the way around. Feeling the chest lift and the rib cage expand. And feeling it relax on the exhale. After a few breaths here, we're going to take an inhale, bring the arms up overhead, lengthening the spine, but keeping the shoulders away from the ears even as the arms come up. And exhale, bringing the arms all the way back down, feeling a stretch down the arm. Inhale, swoop the arms up, maybe rotating the wrists in one direction on the way up. And exhale, rotating the wrists in the opposite direction on the way down. Remembering to keep those shoulders away from the ears. So if you find they're all crunched up here, bring the shoulders down a bit. Your arms don't have to touch your ears here. Gently warming up. After going through this a few times on your own breath, after your next exhale, bring the hands back down to the legs. Excuse me. Taking an inhale, lengthening the spine. And exhale, lowering the left ear to the left shoulder. Trying to keep the shoulder away from the ear. We're not bringing it up. And feeling a stretch in the right side of the neck. Maybe a few breaths here, maybe holding, or maybe taking an inhale, turning the chin up towards the ceiling. And exhale, turning the chin down towards that collarbone. Maybe cycling through this a few times on your own breath. Or maybe holding in one spot. That needs a little more stretching this afternoon. Wherever you are on the next inhale, bring the chin back to face the front. Bring the head back to a neutral position. And on the exhale, gently lower the right ear to the right shoulder. Feeling the stretch in the left side of the neck. Again, keeping the shoulders down and back. Either holding here if this is the stretch you need right now, or taking an inhale, turning the chin up towards the ceiling. And exhale, turning and bringing the chin towards that collarbone. Again, maybe cycling through this a few times on your own breath or pausing in one spot that needs a little more attention. And maybe noticing how this side feels a little bit different than the other side. Maybe you need to stretch in a different spot. We're just noticing. On the next inhale, bringing the chin back to face the front, and bringing the head back to neutral. And taking an exhale, dropping chin to chest. Inhale, coming back to center, and exhale, bringing the chin up towards the ceiling. Stretching the front of the neck here. Inhaling back to neutral. Either cycling through these two movements or maybe picking one and holding it. If you are cycling, you're doing it very slowly and gently. Remembering to keep the shoulders down and back. On the next inhale, bringing the chin back to neutral, the head in a neutral position. Taking a few breaths here. And we're going to come to all fours on our mat. We're pressing in through the tops of the feet. If this is uncomfortable for your ankles, maybe grab a rolled up blanket or towel and press into that. Pressing in through the shins and the knees, which are about hip width apart. Pressing in through the whole hand, the palm of the hand, and through the fingers. Nice straight back here. Our shoulders are still squeezing together. Our core is engaged, so we have a flat back. And the crown of the head is pulling towards the front of the mat, and our hips pulling towards the back to lengthen the spine. We're going to take an inhale, coming into cow, dropping the belly, tilting the hips, and squeezing those shoulder blades together. And exhale. Separating those shoulder blades, tilting the tailbone and arching the back, coming into cat. Maybe cycling through this a few times on your own breath, warming up the spine here. On the next inhale, coming back to a neutral spine. We're going to do some circles with our hips. These circles can be as big or as small as you'd like. Maybe just making gentle, small circles. Or if you'd like, you can make bigger, more dramatic circles. We're still warming up our lower back here. So whatever your back could use right now is perfect. And after a few circles in one direction, pausing and switching directions. Changing the sides of the circle as much as you would like. And whenever you're ready, at about the same, even it out. We're coming back to a neutral tabletop position. And on an exhale, slowly start to pull the hips back towards the heels, feeling a stretch in the low back. And inhale, coming back up. Exhale, pulling the hips back, maybe a little farther this time, maybe closer to the heels. And inhale, coming back up to neutral. Exhale, pulling hips back again. And inhale, coming back up. We're going to exhale back all the way into child's pose and hold here for a few breaths. If you'd like, maybe grabbing a pillow to place in between the hips and the heels. A little more supported child's pose. Maybe grabbing a block or a blanket to place under the forehead. And we will be here for a few minutes. If you'd like to take a wide-legged child's pose, bringing the knees to the outside edges of the mat and bringing the hips back. And for a more active child's pose, keeping those elbows nice and straight. Palms are firmly pressing into the mat. For a more relaxed and gentle child's pose, bringing those elbows down. Maybe placing the head on a block or a pillow. And we're going to pause and breathe here. Maybe softening the gaze or closing the eyes and coming back to the breath. And feeling the rib cage expanding all the way around on the inhales. The front, the side, and the back ribs. Maybe noticing if it feels a little different than the way it felt when we were breathing while sitting. And changing the posture, just noticing. If you're in a wide-legged child's pose, gently walk those knees back into center. And inhaling up to all fours. Then we're gonna come up to standing on our knees here. Maybe grabbing some blocks or some kind of supports for balance if you'd like. And we're gonna bring that left leg forward. Inhaling, we're gonna hands to the hips, opening up the chest, keeping that core engaged. We don't wanna push our hips forward and our belly forward. We're trying to keep our belly nice and tight. So keep that core engaged while gently pushing those hips forward. It doesn't have to look like you're moving. As long as you feel a gentle stretch here, then it's perfect. And exhale, pushing the hips back and gently folding over this front leg. Inhale, coming up, keeping the chest open and the ears are still in line with the shoulders, pushing that hip forward. And exhale, folding over the front leg. This front leg can be bent or straight, whatever you would like. Inhale, coming up, gently pushing the hips forward, keeping the ears in line with the shoulders. And exhale, folding over the front leg, keeping the chest open and keeping the ears in line with the shoulders still. And inhaling up. Again, gently pushing those hips forward. This time we're going to hold here for a few breaths. The spine is nice and long. Our core is still engaged. We're rounding through the top of that back foot or maybe pressing into a blanket. The top of the shin, the knee, and then the sole of that front foot. Breathing. On the next exhale, very gently push the hips back just enough to release the stretch. Then exhale, folding over this front leg. Maybe grabbing your supports if you need them or want them. You can play with bending and straightening this front leg and pointing and flexing the toes. Just find a spot that works for you right now. Keeping the chest open, even though we're folding over this front leg, we're going to keep our back straight, the chest open. Try to keep the ears in line with the shoulders. Maybe push that chin back if you need to. And breathing. On the next inhale, we're gonna slowly release the stretch and come back up. And from here, we're gonna start walking that front leg out to this side. As much as you'd like, you can pause wherever feels like a good stretch for you. If you'd like to come into full gate pose, you can. Bring that leg all the way out to the side. You can play with the pointing your toe location all the way out or forward. You can just play with that and see how it changes the stretch for you, or just what's comfortable for your foot to be in. We're gonna inhale, opening up the chest, tucking the tailbone. We're not dropping our belly, we're tucking the tailbone. Bring that right hand up and exhale, reaching over the extended leg. And inhaling back to neutral. Exhale, reaching. Inhaling back up. Keeping that tailbone tucked. Exhale, reaching. Our tailbone is still tucked here. And inhaling back to center. And one more time, exhale, we're reaching over. That lower hand can stay on the hip, maybe come down to the thigh or to the shin. We're gonna avoid the knee joint, so maybe grabbing a block if that knee is in the perfect spot to hold on to. Maybe holding here. If you'd like, maybe playing with the toe direction, where these toes are pointed. See how it changes the stretch. Or maybe cycling through some movements with the breath. Inhale, turning the chest up towards the ceiling. And exhale, turning the chest to face the mat. An option to hold in one spot at any point. Or continue breathing with the movement. Wherever you are, remembering to breathe. And on the next inhale, bring the chest back to face the center. Coming all the way back up. And we're gonna switch sides. I'm gonna turn so you can see me here. Bring that right leg forward. Inhale, bring the hands to the hips, opening up the chest, tucking that tailbone and gently pushing those hips forward. And exhale, folding over the front leg. Inhale, coming up. Chest is open, the ears are in line with the shoulders. And exhale, folding over this front leg. The leg can be bent or straight. Inhaling up. Keeping the tailbone tucked and the core engaged. And exhale, folding over, keeping the chest open as we're folding. Inhaling back up. We're going to hold here for a few breaths, keeping the tailbone tucked, the core engaged. We're pressing in through the top of that back foot, the shin and the knee, and then the sole of that front foot. Keeping our balance here. Our chest is still open. The neck is long, ears are in line with the shoulders. Remembering to breathe. On the next exhale, very gently pushing those hips back just enough to release that stretch. Maybe grabbing some blocks or supports and folding over this front leg. The leg can be bent or straight. The toes can be pointed or flexed, so you can kind of play with that to see what you need right now. But we're keeping our chest open. Our core is still engaged. We have a flat back here. We're keeping the stretch in the leg. Remembering to breathe. Our ears are still in line with our shoulders. Our gaze is about at our toes or a little in front of them. On the next inhale, coming up. And again, we're going to walk this front leg out to the side. It can stop wherever Is that a good spot and stretch for you? Let's walk it all the way out to the side to gate pose. Picking where you want to point your toes for now. You can always change it. Inhale, opening up the chest, lengthening the spine and tucking the tailbone. We're not dropping our belly, we're tucking our tailbone, keeping our core engaged throughout these poses. Inhale, lifting left arm up, and exhale, reaching over the extended leg. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, reaching. Again, maybe pointing the toes in different direction. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, reaching. Inhaling, center. Exhale, reaching over. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. This hand can stay on the hip. Move down to the thigh or come down to the shin. Or maybe grab some support, but we're avoiding the knee joint. Maybe holding here if this is good for you today. We're taking an inhale, opening up the chest towards the ceiling. And exhale, turn the chest down to face the mat. Either cycling through this with the breath, maybe holding in one spot. You could use a little more stretch right now. Excuse me. And on the next inhale, bring the chest back to face center. Coming all the way back up. Bringing the knees back together. We're going to pause here. Take a few breaths in either modified mountain pose. Pressing the tops of the heels into the mat. The shins and the knees. Shoulders are down and back, opening up the chest. The fingertips are pulling down towards the floor. Palms are open, either facing forward or facing inward. Either stay here for a few breaths in modified mountain pose or pull the hips back. Come into hero pose. Either way, our core is engaged, our chest is open, and our ears are in line with our shoulders, giving us a nice long neck. We're just going to pause here for a few breaths, doing a quick check-in. Maybe softening the gaze or closing the eyes. And coming back to the breath. Maybe noticing how it feels a little bit different now, or if it feels the same. I'm not trying to change it. We're just noticing. And from here, we're going to come to lying on our back, so you can get there any way that is most convenient for you. Maybe grabbing your props for final relaxation nearby, having them ready. Lying on our backs, slowly lowering down. We're going to bring the knees into the chest, bring the palms of the hands on top of the knees with the fingertips pointing towards the toes. We're going to take an exhale, drawing the knees into the chest, and inhale, letting them fall away, straightening the arms. Exhale, pulling them back in, and inhale, letting them fall back. Going through this a few times on your own breath. We're releasing the lower back here. And after a few times, maybe wrapping your arms around the knees and rocking from side to side. Giving yourself a nice little hug. Maybe doing some circles with the knees to give your back a gentle massage here. And whenever you're ready, you can stretch those legs out or up. Whatever your final relaxation looks like. Maybe grabbing some pillows or blankets for under the knees. Helps release the lower back here if you like to do that. Maybe covering yourself with a blanket. Maybe having a blanket or pillow for under the head. Maybe a weighted bag, a little bag of rice. I find that comfortable. Taking a moment to settle in. Taking a few breaths here. Feeling the mat supporting you. Noticing where you're touching the mat. Noticing where the props are supporting you. Taking a few breaths here to just notice your breath. We're going to go through a mental body scan. I'm going to start naming body parts. You notice you're holding any tension, maybe taking an inhale, bringing awareness to that tension, and exhale to release it. We're going to start with the left big toe, the left second toe, the left middle toe, the left fourth toe, the left pinky toe, the sole of the left foot, the left ankle, the left shin, the left calf, the left knee, the left quads, the left hamstring, the left hip, the whole left leg, the right big toe, the right second toe, the right fourth middle toe, the right fourth toe, and the right pinky toe, the sole of the right foot, the right ankle, the right shin, the right calf, the right knee, the right quads, the right hamstrings, the right hip, the whole right leg, the right thumb, the right index finger, the right middle finger, the right ring finger, the right pinky finger, the palm of the right hand, the right wrist, the right forearm, the right elbow, the right upper arm, the right shoulder, the whole right arm, the left thumb, the left index finger, the left middle finger, the left ring finger, the left pinky finger, palm of the left hand, the left wrist, the left forearm, the left elbow, the left upper arm, the left shoulder, the whole left arm, both legs, both hips, the belly, the lower back, the chest, and the upper back, both arms, both shoulders, the neck, the jaw, the cheeks, the nose, the ears, the eyes, the eyebrows, the forehead, finally the crown of the head, releasing any tension you may find. Just taking a few more breaths here. Gently, without moving, starting to bring awareness into your body. Starting to lengthen the inhales and exhales. Deepening the breath. Bringing a little more energy back. And whenever you're ready, starting to wiggle the fingers and toes. Moving up to the wrists and the ankles. Maybe reaching the arms up overhead for one last full body stretch. And on an exhale, drawing the knees into the chest, giving yourself one last hug for this class. And maybe rocking gently from side to side. And rolling onto the right side, using your arm as a pillow. I'm going to take just a few breaths here. Give yourself some time to wake up. And very, very slowly and gently, with the head coming up very last, using your hands to push yourself up to a comfortable seated position, maybe keeping your eyes closed or the gaze soft. When you're there, taking an inhale, reaching the arms up overhead and bringing the hands down together at heart center. Thank you all for joining me as a part of Operation Remote Resilience. You can click on the link below to make donations. And these donations help support teachers like me to help continue to serve those who serve. So thank you for joining me. There are plenty of other YouTube videos and classes that we have. I think that's it. And again, thank you for joining me. And this is Jacquelynne signing off Operation Remote Resilience. Thank you.